throw my computer at some point. I do not know what it is. It literally only does this with DDO. I don't know why. All right. Maybe we're back and we're stable again. Heck if I know. Bollocks, dudes. I really don't understand why the game does this. It didn't. It didn't used to. It used to be very stable. I really don't understand. I really don't know why it, or at what point it started going completely ham. Really pisses me off. All right, so let's get this back up and running. Like I said, I'm pretty sure this can go up to 28 with no problem. It might even go to 30 with no problem. I don't know. This makes me so mad. Every time it dies like that, especially, so what you guys don't see is I usually start the stream about half an hour, or the game about half an hour before they start the stream. I run around, I do things, I try to interact with the world. I try to get it to do that crash. Because it seems like once you get it to do that one big crash, once the game starts, then it's done for the, like, it'll run forever. Why it's not doing that anymore, I don't know, but it is really pissing me off. Alright guys, are we... My chat's broken. Sweet. It's like Gore's gotten in the voice chat. Hey, what's up?
Good evening.
Well, let's not get carried away.
How was your weekend?
Weird.
Did you win at Magic?
I did.
That's sweet.
Yeah, I mean, so you missed the big story earlier, so we'll get back into it again for the chat. I'm trying to figure out how to tell everyone to reset. Don't think I have a good answer at the moment besides just waiting. So anyway, Friday after Magic, we went out to get something to eat. I texted Remington, and he decided to join us. And because Remington is... I'm more on Remington's way home than Nathan's way home.
This is Sarlona toward the McDonald's?
Sarlona towards the McDonald's. Well, where I live is not very near the McDonald's, I guess. Alright, thank you, Beef. Let's go ahead and do that then.
So Remington got off work.
Got off work, joined us at the restaurant, and took me home. And when I got home, I looked over and I noticed that the check engine light was on, and he starts to tell me about how he thinks this gauge is stuck on the dashboard. And I start looking at him like, that's not how that works. That's your oil.
He's been working a lot of overtime.
He has been working a lot of overtime. But I've been reminding him, like, things like get the oil changed and maintenance and stuff like that. So he and his friend apparently changed the oil last.
The same one that hit you in the back of your truck bumper? Or?
No, this is a different guy. That guy is never...
Right.
That guy's never... has never come around again. No, this is his roommate, Riley, who's a good kid. But, I don't know. I don't know exactly what happened. Remy said they changed the oil. Riley said they never changed the oil. I don't know. But one way or another, I think there was the truck has developed a reasonable leak So Remington took the truck. All right. So I talked to Remington, and Remington says the gauge has been like that for a couple of days, and I was going to take it to go get an oil change tomorrow because I think that's what that light means, is get the oil changed. Like, no, Remington, that's the check engine light. Let's see what happens. So I open the door. I tell Remy to pop the hood, and immediately I could hear the engine running rough. I'm like, oh my god. So he turns the engine off. I check the oil. The dipstick shows it's dry. And I'm like, how long has it been like this? And he goes, well, the light came on a day or two ago or something. I'm like, oh my god. Now, Remington usually doesn't drive more than like 3 blocks to work and 3 blocks back home. So it's possible that it's not completely screwed up.
Absolutely.
But he drove across town to pick me up to go to the restaurant and then back again. So I spent the weekend basically worrying about that because we couldn't get it in to get it looked at or anything. Finally today, he took it into the place that we go and get our oil changed at. And they said, yeah, it's got a little leak, but it's not that bad. But you definitely want to go see a mechanic about it because the leak is, could be problematic if you leave your vehicle without oil, I guess. Anyway. So, hey, welcome everyone. So yeah, I've been dealing with that all weekend, basically. And in addition to that, my kid's starting nursing school next week. So he really needs a vehicle and all this stuff. And of course, I said we can't get the truck in any place until next week.
So do they charge you like $30 in Kansas for like a quick compression test on the motor?
I don't know what they would charge for something like that, but it seems to, now that it has, so we put oil in it to make sure that it could get there to get the oil changed, right?
Yeah.
And when we put oil in it, it sat overnight and there was no dripping. So when they changed the oil, it has now developed that drip.
Oil pan gasket.
Yeah, so I'm hoping it's something just really minor and that he didn't drive it far enough to cause damage or actually drive it long enough with low oil.
To bend the rods in the motor, yeah.
Yeah, so we'll just have to wait and see what kind of damage is going on. And then Remington's going to have to decide if he's interested in getting it fixed or not. So I basically have spent the weekend thinking about my truck and what the hell we're going to do with it. So it was not a particularly easy weekend.
But you're a good dad.
Yeah, but I also love that truck probably more than my kids. So somebody's going to get punished after this. No, that truck is the I finished school, I'm going to buy my dream truck. Right? I've had that truck now for almost 20 years. I think we bought it maybe 19 years. I think we bought it in 2002. I've loved this truck. I've loved this truck since the moment I've seen it. I've actually even considered setting it up on a tow rack bumper system, kind of like a Jeep would have, and towing it on the bus. But it needs a lot of work. It's a 19-year-old truck, 20-year-old truck because it's 2000. So it's probably made in 99. So it needs new shocks, it needs some maintenance stuff. It's far from an ideal truck, but I love this truck. So hopefully Remington didn't damage it too badly where we can't fix it or put it out of the realm of being
I destroyed the motor running out of oil when I was working at the nursing home too.
Yeah, see, and that's just it. I'm really hoping that's not the case. But again, I've recently had that motor rebuilt because we had a radiator fluid problem and a micro leak. So when the vehicle was running, it would shoot the antifreeze out, the return feed at the top, or the whatever that is. And
pressure problem, yeah.
Yeah, and so like I couldn't figure out why it didn't leak. I could put fluid in it, and it didn't leak. But then when I drove it, someplace it would run out of fluid, so I would have to like plan on filling up fluid no matter how far I drove. Like I literally carried around like 2 gallons of fluid everywhere I went.
Oh.
So like I kind of get it, but at the same time, like I literally have texted him about getting the oil changed when it needs to be done. Like these maintenance things, I've literally been, you know, if he's going to drive it, he's got to do it. These are not things that I'm going to do. But I will be there to help remind him of these responsibilities because it's not completely on his shoulders.
Yeah, because even the best of us are good for a really bad mess up every once in a while.
Well, and it's, again, like, he didn't buy it. It's not his truck. He's borrowing Dad's truck. What, you know what I mean? Like, what? I hit a pothole when I was 17, driving my father's vehicle to go visit my girlfriend, and knocked the cover off of the transmission and basically dumped all of the transmission fluid on the ground immediately. I had no idea what to do, so I drove it to my girlfriend's house. I checked the transmission fluid, saw that it was low, put some more in, right? And we drove to where we were going because we both were country kids, right? So like we just drove on these back roads to where we were going, and like we didn't think twice about it, you know. And I was just like, "Yeah, Dad, I don't know what's going on. The transmission fluid is low," and I put the 2 quarts in it that we had in case it, you know, because we had talked about it maybe having a problem, and so I put the 2 quarts in. It wasn't enough, and I bought another one, and it still wasn't enough. So I don't know what else to do. So I drove it home, like 40 miles home. So I understand making mistakes, right? But this isn't the age of cell phone. Like I was
right. We didn't have cell phones back
yeah.
then.
Like I didn't have a cell phone. I didn't have like.
You just wanted to get home to live. Yeah.
Well, I just was like, Dad, I don't know what's going on. Like. What am I going to do? I'm going to call collect maybe if I get to a town. Right. I could do that, you know, like it just was just what it was. And so yeah, like it's whatever. By the way, we're just like randomly doing Orchard Slayer for another little bit till Beef is basically done with this pod, I think.
Alright, log it in.
Should be any time. So yeah, dealing with that, and again, I was just like, why didn't you just text me? I'm like, him on, and you didn't know what was up, just text me. It's like, well, I just thought, like you said, it needed an oil change, and that was just the oil change light. I'm like, oh. It doesn't have an oil change light. It's got a check engine light. That's why it says check engine on it. It's different than change the oil. I don't know. So it might be a very expensive lesson for young Remington here. Yeah. I mean, I once joked that I wanted to be buried in that truck. That's how much I like that truck.
I think I remember you saying that.
Yeah, I mean, I've loved that truck like forever. And I get a lot of peace because I gave my truck to my son. Like, yeah. I don't have to worry about him getting in an accident, right? Somebody's going to hit my son and do something that's going to injure him in the truck. Like, it's going to be big truck.
They're going to lose a tooth doing that.
Right. It's a big heavy duty kind of vehicle, right? Like, he's getting hit by a semi truck or something massive. to injure him, and he's still probably going to be okay. Like, that's a big steel vehicle, like, pretty protected. And my wife and I were like, what are we going to do with the truck when we go to the bus? We don't really want to be towing anything. And if we do tow something, it's probably going to be like a little wagon, and we'd probably haul my wife's car around on that little wagon. And I'm like, I don't know, man. This is a way that the truck can still get some life, right? Is that Remington can take care of it, even if he doesn't make it his daily driver when we get to the bus. That's fine. I mean, you don't need your truck to be your everyday driver, right? You can just drive your little car and then drive your truck when you need a truck. So, I don't know. I really thought this was going to keep the truck in the family, and I wouldn't have to worry about it as much. Kind of like not really a family heirloom, but sort of, right? Like, that's a thing. You pass your truck down sometimes. Usually it's a beloved childhood truck, right? Normally those trucks are like from the 40s and not the 2000s, but piss off, it's what I have. It's 20 years old. When does that truck get to move into important status? So anyway, I really hope that the truck is not damaged in a position that it's a problem, and that Remington feels such that while it's in the shop, we can fix a couple of these little problems anyway, like the front seat's damaged, so it doesn't sit up comfortably, so he needs a new seat put in, basically, stuff like that.
It's always nice to have somebody that wants to help you work on your car.
Well, less that, but more, hopefully, he wants to pay to get some of these things that were damaged under his watch fixed. And like his bumper's all jacked up because of that kid that hit him in the butt and never paid for it. You know, stuff like that. I'm hoping that he decides to get that fixed up and taken care of, and then maybe someday get the dents and the paint fixed that has happened under his watch.
He's never getting body work done, man.
Yeah, it's probably true. I don't know. He also really likes the truck. In his mind, it's been his truck. You know, it's still his first vehicle, though. So maybe not. No, I told him it was his responsibility to get that bumper fixed when it happened. If it didn't get sorted by, at the very least, that's got to get done as far as I'm concerned.
Hey, Beef.
What's up, man?
Yeah.
How much time's left on your pot, Beef?
20 minutes for the pauses in the public zone.
I know, but I figure if you wanted to, we could go through it. I'm not going to drink a second one. I've only got 500 or so to 3,000, and that's fine. I was just looking for something different to do.
Alright, I'll take the invite.
I sent you one earlier. Yeah, I had a 150 going from earlier, so I'm not as far.
I have like 60, 58 nature pods.
Those are the 200s?
Yeah.
Yeah, I only have a few of the 200s, but I have like 4 or something. But I have 12 or so of the 150s, so... I don't know. I caught a group that was doing the one in the King's Forest. They had found it. And I'm not entirely sure what happened, but I think they, through some accidental damage, they ended up killing the...
Colors of the Queen.
They Was it Colors of the Queen that killed the
Yeah,
named?
if you don't take Colors of the Queen off, it does negative damage. You can't stop it. It ticks until he's dead.
Well, I know that guy leashes. So when you notice him start to take damage, you just call out a leash. At least that's what I do. But I don't know. I didn't know what happened. He just died out of nowhere, and I'm like, oh my god. So I was like partway in a pot, one of the 200s, and then Mary started a. What's the other one out there?
Barovia?
No. The
Thunder Peaks.
Thunder Peaks, yeah, I did a Thunder Peaks. So I caught a few thousand Thunder Peaks
Sweet.
kills until they capped, and then so I had that 30 minutes left. Well, I don't know. This is fine for 30 minutes. Why did we not get rid of that?
Yeah, 200 pots are expensive.
I don't know. What basically happens is I buy some of the hardcore server to go from 20 to like 23, and then the other like 4 come back, because I always buy stacks of 5 because they're the best deal. I just come back with like 3 here and 4 there, and I try to use them through the season. So, are people excited for Free Guy? People even know what that is. Oh, it sounds like people have no idea what that is.
Is that the code?
That Free Guy is the new Ryan. Shit, what's his name? Ryan Reynolds movie, where he's a video game character. He's an NPC, and he like falls in love with the player character, and the game's gonna go down in 2 days. So now they're on a mission to save the game. I don't know. It seems very funny
About
to
it
me.
on the radio this morning. So
Yeah?
Like half of the radio people were excited about it, and half of them were like, "This stuff's dumb as shit."
Yeah, I honestly don't know. The trailers look really fun to me.
I don't know. It's basically Deadpool plays Grand Theft Auto, the movie.
Right? So it can't be that bad. I don't know. I'm kind of looking forward to that. I never made it to Snake Eyes. I don't know if it's still playing. Might look at that. We're also kicking around going to the lake this weekend now. Looks like the
Watch Suicide Squad on Disney Plus.
we watched Suicide Squad. That was good.
No, it wasn't.
It okay. So let me go over the usual scale again, right? Something that I can watch with the wife, and I don't have to worry about her being entertained for 2 hours or whatever.
No one would be
That's
entertained
good.
by Suicide Squad, so
I watched it and enjoyed it. I found it to be pretty funny most of the time and entertaining, and the action scenes were actiony. I wouldn't say the plot was like great, but it was good. It was entertaining. I'm always impressed with what's his name's work, though.
It reminded me of like Sin City.
James Gunn.
Yeah, James Gunn.
Very dramatic.
That and we do enjoy that Harley Quinn character in particular from there.
Yeah,
That's,
she shot him right in the chest.
did she? I don't remember. I don't remember every scene in the movie. It was not a memorable movie, but for a summer action film, it was very good. It was worth acquiring a password for HBO or whatever.
Yeah, I'm still waiting. I'm still waiting for Matrix 4.
Oh God. Yeah, I forgot they were making another Matrix movie. Hopefully it's Matrix 4 The Explanation. Alright, Thakar. Looks like people are on a rescue mission. Do you know where you're at? What's
Oh,
going
yeah, the red
on?
name on me.
It's like halfway to Ghost.
I think Door's on his way, so or her way.
Oh, you have less hit points than I do. That's impressive. Considering I don't have any destinies.
Alright, man, take it easy. Oh boy.
You decided I was too good for destinies, so I couldn't have any.
That's fair.